c5.
And he opts for the symmetrical variation, which I did not actually study, but g3 seems reasonable.
Typical English. I'll go with knight c6.
Normal development. Bishop g2. So he's playing e6. I'm guessing he wants to do a d5 pawn push. And potential moves, I suppose, are e4, Marazzi bind, possibly. That gives them d4 as an outpost. I could just do knight c3, protecting d5 as well.
Okay. Can you hear? Okay. Knight f6.
So
talk more. Okay.
I feel like I want to go Botvinnik style here. Like play e4. e4, knight e2, castles. That's reasonable enough. Bishop start develop bit. My point can't really be enough. Let's go with 4.
Okay, let's see. I guess he's going for the center. So I'm gonna play d6. We'll go with d6.
So d6 is a bit slow, I want to say. Nothing's really stopping me from playing knight e2 this move. I don't think I need to play d3 just yet. So let's go with knight e2.
Okay. Just develop, right? So I'm gonna go with bishop e7. Maybe later I'm gonna go with d5. He might be going for
So he's gonna go with castle's next move, it seems. Do I want to play d4 here? d4 takes that. I'll just go Botvinnik. Play it safe.
Maybe I should just castle, huh? castle.
So he castles as expected. Now, the two main ideas here, I think, is play d3, and be slow, or I can play f4 straight away. I feel like f4 is like one of those, I don't want to say master level moves, but it involves some calculation. But since we have the time, might as well spend it. So he can play, if I play f4 with the idea of playing f5, does that really accomplish anything? I mean, it doesn't really do much just yet. I mean, f4, I mean, I can always, I don't really want to commit d3 just yet. I mean, I think I only really want to play d3 on knight b4, maybe. This bishop's still having issues developing on bishop c8. I don't really want to break up the center just yet, because my bishop... I mean, the sensible move would just to... Maybe... Wait. Maybe I can go for f4, b3, knight b2. I don't have to go pure English here. Right, this diagonal seems pretty good for the bishop. Or I don't really want to play d4 just yet, but I could play bishop b2 and then play d4 later. So I kind of like f4. He can't really make use of the open diagonal I have, because his bishop's on the wrong diagonal, and he has a hard time actually getting to the open side over here. So I'm gonna opt with f4.
Okay. I don't know if is he trying to go for a pawn storm? I think I'm gonna do a waiting move. Just to see what he does. Go with a6.
Okay. So he plays a6 to prepare b5. I know that a4 is like a gut response here, but from what I remember, it's a bad idea because it weakens b4 a little bit. Maybe. So maybe I should still go with my original plan of playing b3, bishop b2. And if he plays b5 next move, I can just take it still, because my knight's protecting it. Alright, I'm gonna go with that.
It's not a fan kettle the other bishop. But I'm just gonna continue with queen c7.
Queen c7. What is his idea behind this move here? I feel like d4 right now might be good. d4, pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, with ideas of bishop b2 next. If he tries to go for e5, I'm good. I'm okay with that pawn structure change. If I can get f5 in. Yeah, I mean, it's either going to be d4 or bishop b2 here. d4, pawn takes again, knight takes. He doesn't have to take. My knight's kind of misplaced on d4 if he doesn't capture. Mostly because I have two pieces blocking that diagonal now. I think I'm going to go with bishop e2 actually, so I can get my rook to c1.
Okay, so you just fin cattled. I was looking at knight b4 at first, but I'm not sure that does anything. So I just want to prepare d5 at some point, but I also could try a b5 push. I might just go rook fd8 to prepare d5.
Okay, so he goes rook d8. I guess the concept is he eventually expects that d file to open. But I think I have ideas of playing e5 at some point to kick the knight on f6 and get my queen into maybe g4 or h5. So I believe playing d4 now makes some sense. Or I could alternatively play queen c2, get my rook to d1 as well. But that doesn't really make sense with knight b4. So I still think d4 seems like a good move here. I don't know about weakening my diagonal though, right? Because he could play queen b6 at some point if pawn takes. Like if the c pawn was gone, then my king has some vulnerabilities, I think. F5 doesn't look good just yet. So d4 pawn takes, knight takes, or d4 knight takes, pawn takes. Yeah, I think d4 looks okay here. Okay, I'm gonna go with d4.
Okay, so he goes for d4. I guess I have to take. Ooh. Take. And then queen b6. Queen b6. And then knight c2. Can I win a piece here with e5? Let's see.
Okay, so he took. So I looked at queen b6 earlier, but I didn't think that was much of an issue because I have knight a4 as a response. But it's interesting nonetheless. I think I can go for takes, and then I can play queen d4. If he plays e5, I can take. Maybe even get a knight move to d5 at some point. All right, let's go with this.
Okay, queen b6.
So queen b6. I thought that knight a4 was fine. Okay, let's look at this line a bit. Knight a4, queen's probably going to go to a7 here. Knight a7, king h1, I think. Probably knight takes, pawn take, and bishop takes, or even queen takes looks fine here. So I think it's okay.
So just. Oh, okay. I guess queen a7. I won't be able to win a piece actually. Okay, I'm just gonna go with queen a7.
Okay, so queen a7, king h1. Is there something better? Nope.
Okay. I think I can play. Okay. I was thinking about playing d5. You can take my knight. I don't know if I should try d5. Knight takes c6, pawn takes c6, and then e5. Or you can trade off the c pawn first. Um, okay, I'm gonna go for d5. Let's see what happens. I'm taking a risk.
Oh, d5. Alright, this is a slightly tricky move, I want to say. So the idea is that if I move the knight, he takes a pawn and wins discovery on my queen. My gut response maybe is just to take the knight and then play bishop d4 and then get my knight to b6, and that seems like a good idea, I think, right? So something like, no, but then does he have that? He might just have c5 at that point, right? So if I take with the knight, he takes with the pawn, play d4, bishop d4, he plays c5. Then I can recapture, and that looks good for me. I want to... No, wait. But then there's a tempo on my bishop. What if I take with the e-pawn? I can potentially target the weak e7 point at some fork in the road, I want to say. The downsides to that is that it blocks in his... It frees up his bishop. If I play e5, that's my other idea. I can still take it takes e... No. I don't know if I like that. It blocks on my bishop as well. I mean... Maybe I can play... I mean, I have to take advantage of his backward development at somehow, I want to say, and opening it up doesn't seem like it's to my favor. If I play e5 here, d takes... He has to play it knight. Knight takes... Knight to d7, maybe? That looks really bad. Knight to e8. So e5. If he takes d takes c4, I think he has enough to actually take my knight on d4. After I take pawn takes knight, but then I'm on his bishop again with the pawn. Right, so if I do e5, d takes c4, e takes f6, maybe something like knight takes d4, pawn takes e7 looks really bad. Okay, I think that seems like it might be best.
Okay, I expected that. e5. Okay, I got you played knight d4, I think. No. Or I can see. I'm looking at d takes c4, but he has yeah. Oh yeah, he can take my knight. That's right. Right. Knight e4 might be best. I think. Actually, or I can play to knight e8, which doesn't look too good. So knight e4, c takes d, e takes d, and then you can do knight takes knight, pawn takes, bishop takes e4. Is my pawn structure pretty bad, but or I can go knight e8, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with knight e4.
So, 94. Huh. I wasn't really expecting that. I don't really see what his knight really accomplishes on e4. I mean, it's pretty. I'll give him that much. So I think my two main ideas here are either to take on d5, take on c6 with the idea of playing bishop d4. Could also consider taking on c6 and then playing queen c2, threatening to win a pawn. His knight doesn't move. Because I have a hard time believing that he can hang on to that outpost. And then if I take the knight, I don't really want to sack a bishop for it though, because my bishop's pretty good. Maybe I have ideas of playing queen c2, queen c1. My knight's not doing too much on that diagonal there. So I also need to get my knight on a4 into the game somehow again. So taking on c6 versus taking on d5, what's better? d5, is he going to recapture with the rook or with the pawn? With the pawn, he gets an isolated pawn position, something I can play for. Frees up his bishop a little bit. With the rook, I don't know, I don't think I mind that. Well, I mean, I can just take the knight, so he has to take the pawn. That might be better, actually. So, no, but then my knight will be hanging. I think that's the whole point, right? Well, not right away, but potentially. Okay, so c takes d5, rook takes d5. I can probably take on e4, hitting the rook. He probably has to take with the knight. Or, yeah. So I think this actually works. It's going to force him to take with the pawn. So I'm going to take with d5.
Okay. Pawn takes pawn. Expected. Just take back the pawn.
Okay, so I expected that move there. So, can I just play something like... maybe rook c1? Develop my rook? I take on c6. What is his reply? c6. Oh, maybe he has knight f2. Knight f2, I can take it, right? He takes it. I take his rook. He takes my knight. And I think we're even material there. But he has two bishops. Okay, so if I played rook c1, maybe I can go for rook c1 to rook c2, covering f2. Alright, let's go with that. I'm running a little low on time, too.
Rook c1. Reasonable move. So, I want to go bishop d7, but there's I want to give my queen to a better square. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go with bishop d7.
So bishop d7 seems like a weird developing kind of idea. I'm actually kind of inclined to play e6 at some point. But I think I need to go with my original idea of c2 so I can get out of this fork. Rook c2.
Rook c2.
So yeah, I can't say anything.
Guess rook ac8. Rook ac8 and go for b5 maybe.
Okay, so rook ac8 doesn't really do anything to prevent that knight takes idea that I had before. So my original plan was to knight takes c6, so it stops f2 here, so I can play bishop d4, and that dramatically improves my bishop because I can play knight b6 after, so I'm going to go with this idea.
Okay, so you took. I'll take with the bishop actually.
Okay, so he didn't do anything to stop that, so I'm going to play bishop d4.
Okay. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Where am I? Queen b8. Oh, shoot. Well, Queen b8, knight b6. Just go with it.
Okay, so knight b6, I think, is the only move that makes sense here. I want to prevent the pawn push.
Okay. Rook c2, I guess.
Okay, so these rooks are lined up, so if I can get a knight there, it might be interesting. Maybe. If I play queen g4, bishop d7, I can play e6, I believe. And that looks fine, but then he might have... Now that looks okay. So queen queen g4 here, because then I can also protect d7 at some point, I think. So queen g4, the ideas of e6 is what I'm playing for right now. He might have knight f6 though, but it gets my queen out of this awkward spot here. I mean, if he tries to go for the discovery, I think e6 is effective, and I can take his rook after. To be careful. 5 minutes left. All right, I'm gonna go with this idea. I would really like to spend a bit more time on this tactic, but it looks okay.
Queen g4. Okay. Might have some threats here on the king's. My pieces are kind of cramped, yes. I actually like bishop b5. Bishop b5, rook fc1. Or I can defend the king side. If he tries e6, I can just go f6. Maybe. It doesn't work. Or I can go bishop f8. Okay, I'm gonna go with bishop f8.
Alright, that's super passive, and he also spent way more time than I would recommend. Candidate moves here is just to double up on the c-file. and stop things from hanging, I guess. I guess my ideas of first check if e6 doesn't work here, of course, because of bishop g f8 protecting. Can I get the knight out of the way to get my bishop to b6? Doesn't really matter because you can take on c2. Any downsides to c1? Is there a better move? Can't just take on e4 just yet. I could push f5. Is f5 an idea? Pushing f5 maybe to get f6 in could be potentially good, but then he has tactics again. I mean, is f5 an idea here, or should I play rook fc1? Oh crap! I don't know. All right, fc1.
Rook fc1, huh? That knight is a pest. I want to go bishop a3 just to annoy him. Gee, I don't have any queen move. I can't even move my queen. My pieces are stuck. Bishop a3.
Oh, what? Bishop a3. Can I play e3 here? I mean e6. Is e6 an idea in this position? I think it's a nice intermediate move. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, what's he gonna do in response? He's gonna play f6, but then it gets kind of tricky, right? No, he could protect laterally, maybe, with bishop, with f5. f5, it looks kind of tricky. I don't know. I like f6. No, I like e6.
Let's go f6. You can take my knight and then. Well, that's here. Ooh. You got bishop e5. You got mate threat. Okay, f6.
Alright, e6. I can just move my rook away. So it's either e1, he gets an annoying b4. Maybe f1. Doesn't really do much because I can't open this up anymore. d1, I can protect my bishop, but then my rook gets a little loose. But it's kind of forced anyway, I think. I can always take the knight and protect temporarily. So I think I want to go with d1 here, because then I can also consider taking on f6 at a later date.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with rook e7.
So, can I take the knight and then take on f6? Doesn't really do much because the rook's still protecting. I don't know. I mean, f5 is possible too to protect the e6 point, and this is like a permanent fixture that he has to contend with. So I guess my two main moves here are either to maybe even move the rook a little bit. I mean, I think moving the rook might be a good idea, right? Or I don't know. Maybe. Well, I don't want to open the file up either. That's another problem. I don't know. Fixing the pawn seems like a good idea, and then I can play for the long game. Maybe reroute my bishop to e3 to h6. Go for that cheapo mate. I don't know. All right, or I can even reroute to f4.
You still have bishop takes knight, I think.
Okay, so let's go with my previous plan
I'm out of time.
of playing e3, because then I can take on d5 now.
Oh shit, just lost space.
Okay, he can't take the knight because of the pawn. Okay.
I'm dead.
He can't take this pawn because of the queen again. Oh shit, there's an intermediate move. I missed that. Shit. Alright, let's take the bishop.
Pretty much dead. I'm dead. Am I dead?
Wait, how do I... Is there a way to save my pieces here? Oh, I can fork. And then win the rook with check. Alright.
Oh shoot.
Oh. Now I'm just up a full rook, I think.
Shoot.
Okay. Let's consolidate. Maybe. Playing for rook d7 here.
Gotta find something.
Queen. Wait, let's slow down. We don't have to play fast. Huh. I can take the bishop here, right? Rook takes, check, and bishop blocks the only move.
Oh, I'm dead.
Do I block with the bishop or block with the queen?
Almost.
Block with the bishop. Block with the bishop. I doing anyway? What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, let's play here. All right. Let's play here. The idea is of playing here. I'm going to play bishop c4. Oh, fuck. All right. Not good. What am I doing? Oh, motherfucker.
Wow. Okay. I think I got lucky there.
Whatever. That was a terrible end game.
Wow. Ray with the xraylx swindle.
Lucky.
Yeah,
I got lucky.
you sure did. Alright, let's...
Oh, I played terrible there.
Well, you played well for the first 43 moves.
I did get lucky.
Okay. Let me analyze this. Invite. Okay, I invited you guys.
Sorry. Oh, whoa. There's so much background. Oh, wait, I have to... Do you mind inviting me again?
Sure.
I missed that alert, I think. Oh, there we go. I got it. Alright, that was a terrible ending, but...
I mean, don't worry about that part. Like, the most important part's though.
Yeah, I was trying to flag him, and then I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's okay. It was time pressure. Okay, so let's go over the game. Okay, so c4, c5, g3, knight c6. This is all fine. Bishop g2, e6, knight c3. Okay, so here, I think you don't want to commit this knight necessarily.
I was thinking like knight f3 or maybe e4.
Yeah, I mean, I guess knight c3 is okay. And then on knight here, see the problem is like on e4, I think he can do this.
Oh.
And then like if you take, he plays like knight b4 or something, and then you have to go d3, and then this should be okay for him, I think. Like a3, d4, take, 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 take. There's something like this should be good for black, but okay. He played d6, and now this is actually just a fine bottleneck for you. Okay, so knight e2, bishop e7, castle, castle f4. Okay, I thought this was all fine. Okay, a6. Okay, so in this position, I was a bit surprised that you chose to put your bishop on b2. Like, I don't think it's bad, it's just, I'm not sure that you want to commit it to that diagonal, because, you know, say after b3, say he plays like knight d4 here. Now what do you do?
I was going to take and then play knight e2.
Right, take a knight e2, but okay, but where's this bishop going is the problem. So, okay, say I play queen b6, for example. So now I'm threatening to play d3, right?
So I have to play d3.
Right, so I have to play d3, and now I play, say, like e5. And now I'm not sure that you wanted to make this move b3.
Okay, I see.
So it's just, I'm not sure that you wanted to make such a committal move yet, that's all. So, okay. I mean, you know, something like d3 seems more natural. So, you know, you're not necessarily intending to develop bishop along this diagonal, but okay, at least you're shoring up your pawn structure. Another thing I thought you could have done is simply just play f5 immediately. And then the idea is you just want to play like h3 and g4.
Yeah. I didn't think I had enough piece development to actually go for it yet.
I mean, how can he really exploit this? I mean, you actually have also ideas of maybe playing knight f4 at some point. So actually, even in this position, after queen c7. Okay, here I thought you really could play f5. So the point is, okay, say he ignores it and plays, I don't know, rook b8. Well, now you have a move like knight f4, and the point is if he takes, you have this intermediate move, knight fd5, and then after take, you're going to take back, and then your pieces are doing real well. So you kind of just want to draw support off of f5, and then you have ideas of simply playing like bishop h3 and just putting lots of pressure on this e6 pawn. And it's actually hard for him to defend that pawn concretely.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just an idea. Like, I mean, I don't think what you did was bad necessarily. It's just, you know, if you're playing f4, it makes sense to kind of expand on the king side before he gets a chance to reroute his pieces. Because ideally, he should want to probably play like knight d7 and play f5 himself to kind of challenge your idea. So, if you give him time to do that, he might be okay. But, okay, so he played bishop b2, he played rook b8. Oh, no, sorry, he played... Yeah, rook b8, and then you played d4, right? Okay, so yeah, I thought this move was fine. It just kind of changes the structure a bit from a botvinnik to...
It's no longer really a botvinnik.
Yeah, it's more like a hedgehog now. So, I mean, it's perfectly fine. Like, I actually thought, if anything, you could have played this move a few moves earlier, but this is fine.
Yeah, I was debating between b3, d3, and d4 at that point. I didn't know which one to go for. I went with d3.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I think it's just a matter of taste. Like, if you wanted to keep it in a more botvinnik type structure, I think d3 would have been fine, but d4, there's nothing wrong with it. So he has to take, which he did, which is good. Okay, now he plays move queen b6, which I don't agree with at all, because, I mean, all it is just forcing you to play a move like knight a4, and he's just wasting time with his queen. So I think he should probably just play a more hedgehoggy move and play a move like, say, rook b8, and then play b6 and bishop b7, and then just, you know, kind of hold status quo and wait for you to do something. So, but I think with queen b6 he kind of got his queen into troubles right away. So after knight a4, queen a7, okay, so he played king h1, which made sense to get out of the pin, and he played d5. Okay, so I thought originally that you might do something like take, and then e5. So the point of doing that is that you keep the d file closed, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess the way it turned out, you were kind of keeping the d file closed anyway by force because you played e5 and then you took. So it kind of transposed. But I think what you did was correct. So take and take. Okay. So here. I guess the way it turned out, you were... someone needs to mute the stream, by the way, if they have it.
I think that's Ray.
Yeah, Ray, you gotta mute the stream. Ray, mute the stream. It kind of, yeah, Ray, you gotta mute the stream. Okay. Ray, you gotta mute the stream, buddy. Ray. Jeez. Alright. Alright, so yeah, hang up if you want, right? It's fine. You should be listening to me on Skype, not listening to me on the stream. What is wrong with you? But anyway. Alright, so... okay, so rook c1. That's okay. I mean, rook c1 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just putting pressure on the seat on the knight. He played bishop b7, which makes sense. Okay, so here you played rook c2.
I just wanted to free up the knight because I wanted to protect f2 somehow.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm just trying to think if you have something like trickier.
I mean, I couldn't move the queen at all, from what I saw.
I mean, you could play queen d3, I guess, but
that still runs into the f2 tactic.
Well, I know, but your rook on f1 is defending it, right? So
no, but if the knight moves, is what I was getting.
Right. But I'm saying like queen d3, you're just threatening to take on e4, I suppose.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with rook c2. I'm just trying to think of like actually, I was thinking about playing. No, I think rook c2 is actually fine. So, okay, so rook a c8. Then you took.
I didn't like that move by him because I didn't think it accomplished a lot. Or it got my it let me free up my knight. I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure what he should do, right? I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking. Oh, true. Yeah, because he has to place the rook move before b5.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is fine, but I think this was the point. Okay, so in this position, I think he has to do this.
Yeah.
As opposed to this, because now if you play move like bishop d4, okay, now he can play this maybe.
And I was okay with that pawn move because I was gonna go to I think G1 was my idea maybe. I don't know.
Wait, in this position?
No. If I played D4, C5.
Oh, I see. Bishop G1, right. Interesting.
I was okay with this pawn structure.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, he has hanging pawns on D5 and C5. Okay, so maybe here... I mean, can he just play a move like
Bishop
this?
takes A4.
Just bishop
Or,
E6.
yeah, or that too.
Oh, I guess he can play F5 though, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe he has to play bishop F5 instead. But then you have G4. Wow. Interesting. This actually might be good for you. Okay, well, what if he just does like something like this and just takes?
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of... I thought I could shore up the queen side and just play on the king side and go for an attack or something.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think his pawns are sort of fixed at the moment. Cause
yeah, well, that's true. Okay, but what if he plays maybe like a move like... I don't know, like queen D7, like trying to target this guy.
Probably rook B2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, rook B2, rook B8. I mean, well, the problem is rook B2. Maybe I can play knight C3 and then like take on A4 with a knight. I'm not sure, but I mean, I feel like this is at least better than what happened in the game because
yeah, for sure. Because
after bishop C6, I think bishop D4 was a good move.
With B6, I guess, like was the follow-up which made it good.
Sorry, he took with the bishop.
Yeah.
And then so then you play bishop D4, right? And then queen B. Okay, so here you played knight B6. I'm not like. Did you consider this way maybe?
Yeah, but I wanted to get my knight into the game. It just looked so stupid on the rim, you know?
Yeah, I understand, but like, is it any more on the game on B6 than it is on A4? Because I mean,
at least it gained a tempo, in my opinion, was what my rationale was, and I was thinking of rerouting it and then getting bishop B6 at a later point.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is, where's your knight going from B6? Like, are you gonna eventually try to win D5 or?
Part of my idea of playing Queen G4 was because I would be protecting D7, sorta.
Right? I see. Well, I think Queen G4 is a good idea, but okay, so let's get to that point. So knight B6 or C7 forced, and then you play Queen G4. So now you have ideas of playing E6.
E6.
Yeah. No, I think this is good.
Yeah.
I think this is good because I think his position's already kind of tough. Can he? Oh, I guess he can't even do that. Okay, so he played bishop F8, which made sense actually.
I thought that was kind of too passive, maybe.
Well, I think his bishop actually is kind of restricting the placement of all his pieces, because now he can maybe play at some point maybe F6 and kind of defend the 7th rank with his rook, or maybe he can play I don't know, bishop D7 and just try to trade some pieces off. But okay, so he played rook FC1, which made a lot of sense. And then, so yeah, can he just play bishop D7 here maybe?
I still thought
So you're gonna take it?
yes, I think I was gonna take it.
Okay, so take, and then rook C takes.
And then maybe bishop B6 here?
Okay, bishop B6. I kind of want to sacrifice the exchange here. I don't know if it's any good, but like I kind of just want to like let you take that. I don't know what I could do that's productive on this move though.
I mean, the alternate move would have been E6 besides bishop B6.
Right, so E6, and then
maybe he plays F5 here, which...
no, I mean, I think he just takes. And then you take, I guess?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I play king H8. I mean, I don't know, I feel like his game is freer than it was.
Yeah, I mean, I can take the knight, win a pawn. I don't know if I want to do that or not, but yeah, I guess it's not so clear.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely better. I mean, you have two bishops, he has isolated pawn, your rooks are better, I mean, your queen's better, but I mean, at least he's still fighting, because that knight e4 is kind of a pain for you. But I mean, I guess you play like bishop e5 next, and then his queen is almost trapped, and then you have ideas of maybe just playing f5, f6 or something, and that should be good for you. But okay, so you played, or sorry, he played bishop a3. Okay, so
I didn't know if e6 was good or not. I kind of played it because I liked it, but I don't know.
Okay, can he play f5 here?
Yeah, which is what I was sort of afraid of. but I was just gonna take anyway and sack the exchange, sorta.
I mean, it can't be too bad. I mean, okay, so f5 you have to take, so I guess you should take. So I guess you should take back. I mean, you're at least threatening this, which wins the exchange back. I can't imagine you're much worse here, if worse at all. So I mean, yeah, it's probably a good try in the thing, but I don't know if you actually needed to go through all this, because I mean, here, I mean, you could just play a move like
Rook D1 or something, right?
Yeah, or even like Rook F1 maybe, and then like play F5 first.
Okay.
And something like that. But I mean, I don't think E6 was necessarily a bad idea. So, okay, so you played, move 24, E6, right? Okay, so he played F6, right? And then you played Queen 6. Oh yeah, you played Rook D1, right? Okay, and then Rook E7, and now.
I think I played F5. I wasn't sure. I mean, it seems sensible. I mean, I don't have that much play, I think, though.
No, I like F5. I mean, you're just I mean, that pawn is super strong. I mean, the other ideas of going like this and repositioning your bishop.
Exactly.
No, I think it's good. And then Rook F8.
Then,
I'm not.
The bishop E3 idea.
Yeah, which was good. Queen D8. And then he just hung a piece, which was kind of the beginning of the end. I don't really know what he can do instead. I mean, maybe he just played Bishop D6 back or something. But I mean, now this is falling is the problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's in trouble. Okay, so he hung a piece.
But I think after this, I was just playing like shit.
Well, no, I mean, this is still good. 95 was good. 97 was good. Okay, Bishop G2 was good.
After I played Rook E7, I messed that up.
Well, no, I mean, this is all still really good. Rook D7 was great. And then here you can actually take on E7 immediately, right?
Yeah, I think I did that.
No, you took on B7 and then you took on B7. Yeah,
okay.
But I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's fine. So you took, and then you took. So here in this position, just as a technical thing, I probably would have just done this. Because notice he still can't take the rook because rook c8 mates, right? So just offer, basically you're forking two pieces at this point, right? You're forking this and you're forking this.
Okay.
So the absolute best he has is he has to take your queen, you take, and then he has to move his rook somewhere, and you're just up a rook and a bishop for nothing, right? So
yeah.
I mean, I know it was hard to see in time trouble, but notice that he can't take the rook. So okay, but I mean, even bishop f5 was completely fine because so he played rook d8, and then
and I really wanted to play queen c8. But then
I mean, even queen c7, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, sorry, you can't because sorry. No, you can't do that. But what you can do is you can simply play. Okay, so yeah, in this position, what I thought you should have done is just go here. Just make sure his rook can't get into the game. That's all.
Okay.
And then if he moves his rook back, then you play like king g1 maybe, and then rook f2, and then just consolidate, and you're up a rook and a piece again, and you'll be fine. But okay, queen e2 is still fine. Okay, queen b4, so he's attacking your rook. So again, rook d7, I think, just to make sure his rook can't get any play whatsoever.
Okay.
Okay, but then rook f7. Okay, still fine. And then here, I don't know why you just didn't simply play this move.
I don't know, actually.
I mean, because now your rooks are starting to get marauding. I mean, but okay, queen g2 is still fine.
I was trying to get my bishop to c4.
Right, but I don't know why you're trying to do that. Like, your bishop is a good defender of your king. I mean, your two rooks should be more than enough here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, rook to c7 seems good. Okay, bishop c4. Okay, it's still fine, but you gotta be a little careful now. So rook d1, bishop f1 forced. Okay, queen b5, he's threatening f1. So I might have played this move, rook f2, cover this guy and cover this guy. But okay, so rook e2 is still fine. Okay, but after queen takes f5, unfortunately, you have to defend this guy. So rook f2 again. Yeah. But okay, even after queen e7, it's still kind of fine because if you play this move, I don't actually see how he has like a forced win. Like,
okay, all right.
I mean, I guess he has a draw. Maybe I guess he has a draw. Like he plays because no, I mean if he wins any amount of material, you queen and you win. So even if he for example plays queen d5 check, plays rook takes g1 check, and plays queen takes f7, you still play rook e2, and you're still I think at least equal, if not better. But I guess he goes like queen f3 check. Takes this and then does this thing, and now I don't think your king can avoid the checks. I think he just keeps checking on the d file. But okay, I mean, in any case, I mean, at that point it was already time pressure and stuff. So
yeah.
But no, I mean, I thought you placed your pieces more effectively than he did in the middle game. But yeah, I mean, like your bishop on b2 actually ended up being a bit of a liability at the end, right? Because if it had been on the other diagonal to begin with, you could have played like a bishop e3 sooner to kind of break the pin, or So just those types of moves, when you kind of commit your piece to a square, maybe think twice about that, because sometimes it actually ends up being the case where you either want it to be more flexible or you actually want it on a different diagonal to begin with. So.
Okay.
But no, but I thought you played pretty well for the most part, and I thought Ray did okay too. It's just his position was kind of cramped to begin with, so it was hard for him to kind of maneuver out of it.
All right. Thanks for that analysis.
No problem, and thanks for being on. Hopefully I didn't cut into your bedtime too much. It's still early enough.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being on. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.